Good evening, Florida, and welcome to Coastal Conservative News, where truth has a backbone and freedom still has a home. I'm Michelle Posey.
And I'm Allie Leger. We're bringing you the bold stories, the real headlines, and the voices that matter most right here from the heart of the free state of Florida.
That's right. From Tallahassee to the Sun Coast, we're tracking the political shifts, community victories, and constitutional battles shaping the future of our state and our nation.
So buckle up. It's time to get informed, get fired up, and get involved. This is CCN Coastal Conservative News.
All right, let's kick things off with your week in review.
Hello, Florida. Welcome to Coastal Conservative News, Week in Review. I am Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Tonight, some stories aren't making front pages, but they do matter. We've got art protests in Orlando, ancient history resurfaced by storms, and reminders that community safety really does start at home. First, a major health story. Florida plans to end all vaccine mandates, including those for school-required vaccinations. Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo, supported by, of course, Governor Ron DeSantis, characterized certain mandates as infringement on bodily autonomy and really parental rights. Public health experts warn of possible outbreaks of preventable diseases.
Absolutely. In the same vein, there has been a surge in vaccine skepticism among GOP voters ahead of 2026. Polling shows strong support for Florida's mandate rollback, but also real concern among health professionals that reduced immunization rates could threaten public safety.
Also on health, conservationists are suing to stop Florida's first black bear hunt in a decade, citing science-based wildlife management obligations and growing threats to habitats rather than overpopulation of bears. Take a look.
And there's a lighter but courageous story. A Land O'Lakes woman fought off a 5-foot alligator with her bare hands to save her 4-month-old puppy. The dog was saved, the alligator captured. FWC continues its GatorWise safety campaign, urging pet owners to be extra cautious near water.
In Broward County, 6 more deputies have been fired and 11 others disciplined after an internal review found systemic failure to act on repeated domestic violence complaints. Oh, this isn't good. Mary Gingles had warned authorities of terrorizing behavior from her estranged husband. Later, she was murdered in front of her young daughter.
Very sad. This case raises serious questions about the effectiveness of red flag laws and whether law enforcement is equipped and willing to protect victims when the risk is evident. It's not enough to have laws on paper. Enforcement must follow. On the field, tough loss for the Florida Gators. Defensive tackle Caleb Banks, a powerhouse on defense last season, is out with a long-term injury after suffering what appears to be a serious foot issue. This is a big blow to Florida's defense as they head into key matchups. Culturally, one underreported story, Florida's wildlife norms encounters with alligators and natural hazardous continues to offer cautionary tales, like that woman who stood up to the gator for her puppy. These events speak to how intertwined our environment is with culture here.
Absolutely. Speaking of our culture, on the heels of the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, we joined here in Bradenton, Florida, a number of our young Republican organizations for what turned out to be not just a candlelight vigil, not just a prayer vigil, but actually a call to being the turning point here in USA. We're going to welcome into the studio now Camden Bettinghouse.
Well, welcome, Camden. Thank you so much for joining us today. You have been a very fierce and courageous voice for Gen Z, especially with your podcast. Remind us what that is.
Man of God Pod and No Filter Gen Z. So
I love it.
everything.
So, those are 2 podcasts you are definitely going to want to either have your children listen to or you yourself listen to, because this one is full of great information. You had the opportunity to go to a YR event, a Young Republicans event, that was honoring our civil rights leader of our time, Charlie Kirk, who's also a man of faith and, was able to have courageous debates. What was that like for you?
Man, it was just so cool to see people, many more than you would have thought, go out and honor him in real time, because we all know he was like special to us, but I don't know if he knows how special and how impactful, because thousands of people were there just to celebrate his life and to honor him through just prayer and worship and just singing about God and how he was used by God. Charlie was used by God.
Well, and what was remarkable about this is that 3 young Republican chapters came together really to promote this. Our Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins made a visit. You were there. Tell me a little bit about what the atmosphere was like there, and what was the turnout?
It was huge, first of all, more than I thought would have been in person like that. But really the whole night, the message I got was just gratefulness, gratitude, and just honor. Like people really came out with like signs and paintings and all this stuff honoring Charlie for what he's done for us. And it was almost like a special peace that was there that night. Everyone had that same peace.
That's amazing, coming together. We want to make sure that we show you exactly what the footage Camden got. Take a look at this.
Hey everyone, I'm Camden from CCN, and today we are at the Charlie Kirk Vigil with the joint event of Pinellas County Young Republicans, Sarasota Bradenton Young Republicans, and Tampa Bay Young Republicans. We're out here just to celebrate the life of Charlie and see what the people are thinking about this whole tragedy and how we can carry the movement forward. And we're looking forward to just celebrating him and seeing where we go from here.
Let's
All right, so we're out here right now. Just take a look at how many people from all different backgrounds, the diversity in what Charlie started for us and how we're continuing on is just amazing. From here, you see American flags everywhere. A guy that really showed what America is. And so we're going to talk to people and see what they're thinking right now. All right, CCN here with CJ Morgan with the Young Republicans of Florida.
Yes, indeed.
So a big time right now. How are you feeling right now? What did Charlie Kirk mean to this whole organization and what you do?
I mean, we're doing what he did. Just as, he had such a reach. We were out here under these red tents for the last, 4 or 5 years in a row, especially locally here. But that's what we do. We get out, we talk to the voters. We're actually out there engaging and encouraging turnout. So what he was doing, we can easily put ourselves in those shoes, as many probably watching can.
How do you move forward after something like that and gather the young vote and the young people to carry on what he started?
I mean, look around us. The impact that he had is just undeniable. This is something totally different than I think anybody imagined. And the outpouring of support across not only Sarasota, Bradenton, this isn't just a national thing, it's international. I mean, South Korea, you had the marches in London. I mean, this is something so different than I think most of us have seen. And, not to overshadow the president, but I mean, he even he was doing this well before Trump even rode down the escalator. Come on, this is decades in the making, right? So he has touched personally so many people, and you see that. And, this gives the youth movement the resolve to carry forward, I think, moving forward.
What's your message to everyone who followed Charlie and how we can take action as individuals and carry it on?
Get involved. Go sign up. Volunteer with your local party, whether it's, the Republican Party, or if you get involved with an organization like ours, the Young Republicans, that's, federated, or if you're in high school or college, join your TPUSA chapter. There are so many ways to get involved. It becomes a little overwhelming sometimes, trying to decide where you want to get involved. So find your community, plug in, and go do the work, reaching out to voters and trying to persuade those who actually want to listen.
All right, I'm here with Jade at the Memorial Vigil event for Charlie Kirk. You actually painted a picture of him in Turning Point. I mean, this just shows how much he meant to you. Can you just explain to us what Charlie did mean to you and how this is making you feel?
So I never got to meet him, and it sucks because only a few days before he passed that I was actually looking into tour dates and didn't see anything close to us currently, but the fact that I was looking right before it tore it away from me, being that something you were hoping to look forward to in the future, just the idea of getting to see him and the ideas that he brought and the group. Like, this is an amazing group, but the fact that when he was here, he brought even bigger groups is something that I won't get to experience now when I really wanted to. And being that he's so close to my age, at first it really hurt. Where did I feel safe? Do I feel safe going somewhere to say anything? Do I feel safe putting my political views on Facebook? Do I feel safe? And then as people started coming together afterwards, the safety came back.
Yeah.
If we collect ourselves together more, then we will be able to feel safe again. But it still will take some time to truly be that way. But I like seeing all those positive posts amongst the negative.
Yeah, and so you've never met him, but he had this much impact on you. I've been hearing that from so many different people. Why do you think that is? Do you think there's something special about this?
I think my family and I have been discussing it a little bit where, there's a difference between celebrities, and that used to be, and then we've got the addition of YouTubers, and then we got the addition of I will just speak my truth. Even more than what YouTubers even do, even those vlog channels. He was able to just say everything he believed and say it in one go. And the fact that he could do a lot of that without even like charts and graphs and stuff in front of him, that just means how smart of a man he was, because I couldn't do that. But I can try to do my own part, but at the same time, I would need information in front of me. There's no way I could do it on my own.
So how do we carry on what he started? Like for young people, you and me, how do we start and continue what he did for us?
I think even just coming to these kind of things is like meeting new people, because I have friends that have my beliefs, but they're not as strong in them as whether it's faith, whether it's politics. So I think just coming to these kind of events in general, but also I already have my Young Republicans information in my bag, so
Perfect.
I'm ready to kind of find where I can actually plug in differently.
All right, we're here with Luke at the Charlie Kirk Vigil. Why did you come out tonight?
I was furious that he got shot, and that's not right. He got shot for standing up for what he believed in. He's a patriot. That's not okay. That's not what our country's about.
Yeah, and then you see all these people united together. Do you think this is going to make a good difference in the world, even though it's a bad thing to happen? Can we carry it on forward in a positive way?
Yes, everybody here right now stands for justice, stands for Charlie Kirk, what this country, means, what we believe in. This is great to see everybody out here tonight. It's a sad day, but, we're out here in the morning.
What did he mean to you, and how can we take action to continue that movement that he started?
So I didn't know him personally, but I listened to his podcasts all the time. I thought that he's very good at what he did, and it was a nice voice to listen to and kind of learn from. It's just so sad we lost him so soon. I mean, he's 31 years old, wife and kids, not right.
And so what did you take away from this entire event, and what we can do now going forward?
What we could take away from this event is that this is not okay, and that everybody here stands for freedom, stands for the United States of America, and stands for Charlie Kirk, and getting shot for wrong opinions, not okay.
Amen. Thank you so much, Luke. All right, I'm here with Colin tonight. We're at the Charlie Kirk Vigil. Why did you come out tonight? I feel like a lot of people are feeling heavy and stuff, but what made you actually come out to an event like this?
Definitely. No, I came out because honestly, after it happened, it really kind of woke me up as far as, we have one man out there really talking about how we feel. And a lot of people seem to think that that's not how we feel because we're not speaking up ourselves. And so my whole family's out here, and it's been a really good turnout. And it's really cool to see people actually getting involved in doing something. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. What did Charlie mean to you? I know a lot of people that didn't even meet him, and they still felt such a big feeling from this all. So what did he mean to you personally?
It's interesting. He feels like a brother that I've never met. And so I used to, while I'm working, I would listen to probably hundreds of hours of Charlie. And it's crazy because it's like I feel just like that. And you would learn, how to fully articulate your feelings too, and how you feel about politics and things like that. And in a way, you wish you could emulate at what level he was, so you could easily talk to people about it. Sometimes it's hard, but it feels like you lost a brother. Honestly, yeah. It's an interesting feeling. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel.
Same. And I know millions of people are like that too. There's a whole movement saying we are Charlie Kirk. Like people are standing up now. What can we do individually as people now going forward to carry on what he started?
Well, you be like you can start things where you actually, grab a camera and you start recording and talking about how you actually feel, talking about your politics, talking about your beliefs, because I think that's one thing that, we were kind of discussing before, is that because we're not talking about that, a lot of people think that these are just radical ideas, and they're really not. I think they're actually very simple things that almost everybody can agree with.
God, family, country.
Right. And I think when people are forced to be confronted with these, their reality is kind of shook, and that's why they don't know how to handle it. So if we talk more about it, I think it can lower things a lot better. But even just going out, I held a sign on the side of the road for the first time.
See, there you go.
And I'm like, I should have done this a long time ago. So just anything you can do, talking to a friend, talking to your church, There's a lot of TPUSA chapters that are starting at schools. There's a veteran that I met the other day just online, sent him my number, and he took charge and got it in Northport High, which is awesome. So TPUSA is right in Northport High right now. Wow. So that's awesome.
Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps our coverage here up at the Charlie Kirk Vigil in Bradenton. We really saw a lot of Americans united together, and the result, the people that came out was way bigger than I would have thought, ever would have thought. So many people from different backgrounds that we talked to today that came here because it wasn't right, but they want something bigger moving forward, and we learned that tonight, and we're going to see a big impact going forward. I am confident. I'm a young American, and I don't think this is the end. This is just the beginning. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.
That is absolutely incredible. I'm so glad you were there and able to capture such great footage there.
Yeah.
So where
emotional.
can people find you?
Well, I'm on all social media at Camden Trey B, and there you can find my shows there as well. So that's it, and I just want to fight for the truth and keep on continuing what Charlie left for us and continue that mission to push forward for truth and for faith and all the things that he stood for.
Well, that's your call to action, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll have more CCN in just a moment. In other news, in the Tampa Bay area, lingering smoke from a brush fire at Brooker Creek Preserve has reduced air quality and created health alerts for residents, especially those with respiratory issues. This from the WUSF Health.
And for people living near coasts or going out on the water, there's rising concerns about flesh-eating bacteria in warm coastal and brackish waters. 4 deaths already reported in Florida this year. People with open wounds or weakened immune systems are urged to be extra careful.
Wow. Good news, however, from hospitals. Naples Comprehensive Health, NCH, earned National Gold Certification for Infant Safe Sleep, a recognition of its efforts in promoting newborn safety. Take a look.
Also, in the health sector, UCF researchers are launching a study examining how harmful algae blooms and red tide are influencing human health, especially respiratory issues and long-term exposure risks in coastal communities. We will keep you updated on this as more information becomes available.
In Orlando, restaurant owner Trina Gregory turned 49 parking spots outside her eatery into an art canvas, launching Parking Space for Pride, a rainbow connection. Her goal, pushback against state orders to remove rainbow crosswalks and other symbolic surface art.
She received more than 1,000 applications from artists eager to express community values through color. These are private property spots, not state roads, so they're not subject to the same mandates FDOT is enforcing. But it's still a message. When government standards threaten local identity, people will find a way to push back.
Wait a minute. So if I wanted to take our parking lot out here and paint it with Turning Point USA, I guess that would be okay too.
Absolutely.
All right. Consider it done. Governor DeSantis' administration issued directives through FDOT prohibiting surface art with ideological message on state-maintained roads. Municipalities face losing state transportation funding if they don't comply. But Gregory believes art is resistance and healing, and many are agreeing with her.
For viewers, this isn't just about paint. It's about who controls public messaging, visibility, and how culture is expressed. Florida may be tightening rules, but private citizens are making their voices heard. Trina was not available for comment.
Next up, history rising from the flood. A 9-foot dugout canoe was found in Fort Myers after Hurricane Ian's massive surge. Preservationists restored it, and experts say its design is highly unusual for Florida.
Interesting. The canoe might be a cayuco, a small watercraft style more commonly associated with Caribbean indigenous use. This suggests possible trade or cultural influence beyond what we normally expect here. It's not yet dated via radiocarbon testing, but its condition, design, and context are fueling strong curiosity.
Very interesting. Florida already leads the nation in the number of ancient canoes found. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Over 450 from 200 plus sites. But this one stands out. For those who care about heritage, this is a reminder storms don't just bring destruction, They rediscover forgotten roots. This week in Florida shows a state at many crossroads. Health policy being rewired, wildlife and environment in balance, standards in law enforcement under scrutiny, and culture, both the nicest and the rawest, rising to the surface.
And that's all for your week in review right here on CCN.
Girl, say it. It has been a week, and it's only Tuesday.
Girl, it has been a month. It's 2025. I need to
year.
read the terms and conditions.
We should have read the fine print before we celebrated.
There's been so much going on with me. I don't know how to get rid of detox almost and get clarity.
It feels like it's almost like you can't think. It's hard to kind of focus on work and focus on being a mom and all the things that we juggle as women.
Because we want to excel at it, right?
Well, that's why we're here at We the People Health and Wellness Center.
Yep. Get rid of the brain fog.
Get rid of the brain fog.
We're getting the brainstorm.
Brainstorm.
That's Make it rain.
Now here is Raj Dorsami with our Suncoast Community segment.
Hello, my friends. This is Raj Dorsami. We have another community segment, and I'm happy to be joined by Allison Euchre. I'm so delighted that she's with us today. And the reason why I'm so delighted she's with us today is a very, very timely topic. As you probably know, the Surgeon General in Florida made world history by banning all vaccine mandates. And so an organization called We the People Health and Wellness, founded by a gentleman named Vic Miller, businessman here, is actually hosting an epic event. So Allison, talk to us a little bit about this event, who is going to be in attendance. Take it away.
Yeah, I am. I'm super excited to be part of this community and to be able to support it. And although I'm not hosting the event, I am just a participant. I think it's great. Thanks so much, Raj, for having me on to be able to talk about it and support it. I think, certainly We the People in Venice here has been a huge supporter of being able to bring health freedom, right? And a whole bunch of different alternative and ways to heal our body, and just an amazing set of speakers coming to talk to the community. And obviously Dr. Latipo, rock star here in Florida, that will be there. We have, I don't know if you have that back flashed up, but a myriad of speakers that it seems like we're adding new ones every day. And I'm really thankful for We the People, Freedom Health Connect, and all the amazing speakers that are going to come and talk to us. So Susan Sweden, amazing rock star in this space. Dr. Makis, obviously Dr. Latipo, his lovely wife, Brianna. And we just have like a treasure trove, right, of speakers that are going to come to talk to us. So
It's
just,
going to be very
amazing.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be very exciting and epic, because in addition to these phenomenal speakers here, the content, here's what, believe it or not, here is actually what is going to be covered here. Look at this. Can you fight? It's a C word. It's a C word right there. The C word. Can you fight cancer? Susan, I know you're not a doctor. We're not medical people here, but are there options outside of pharmaceutical to fight this horrible thing?
Raj, it's amazing that again, like I've known a lot of people, actually recently, that have had cancer. And one friend in particular has gone down the route of not the pharmaceutical standard. Actually, two people did, but the non-pharmaceutical route, right? The chemo, the radiation, and went on a holistic journey. She is a brave warrior. She has done so much of the holistic stuff that, and she is in 100% remission. She had breast cancer, diagnosed with a really aggressive form of breast cancer. And I think that, there are alternatives. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. However, I think as a community, we are, and as a nation, we're questioning things. And that is such an important part of how we're getting provided care. there's more of a discussion, more of a dialogue, like, why does this work? And does this work? And are there options for me? So I think events like this are so important because, cancer is such a huge life altering moment, right? That to have options that, may be different than what a traditional cancer oncologist is trained to do or trained to say, like those conversations should be happening. Absolutely, 100%. I'm in full support of.
They absolutely, yeah, they absolutely have to, and they're going to be happening here at this event. In fact, uh, Allison, this is so exciting because this man here, Dr. William Mackis,
Mhm.
He is like one of the world's authority on what we're talking about. So if you have questions on does it even work? Do you have to go the radiation route? What are the side effects? This is your opportunity to do that. And Dr. Joseph Ladapo, wow, that announcement that he made, shockwaves throughout the
Yes.
planet. Here you have the Surgeon General saying, no, you want a vaccine, it's your choice, no mandate.
Yes.
And Susan, the people that are trying to promote this ban, give people choice, those people are getting death threats now. And just we had this tragedy with Charlie Kirk. These people are horrible. The people who talk with a bullet like that, right?
Right.
And so
Terrible.
wow.
Terrible. When I was thinking about this, Rajan, it's like, when did we become, we've always said that we're like a nation of consumers, right? Like we're in this consumption phase, constant consumption. But when did the consumption, whether it be, food or like, materials or whatever, on our medical side, just constantly consuming, even our medical professionals, just constantly consuming this rather than critically thinking, right? So you can only consume so much until you pop, right? You have to be critical thinker. There has to be some purging and being like, wait a minute, let's slow down and actually talk about this. We're the sickest we've ever been. Our children are the sickest we've ever been. We have this explosion in chronic and critical illnesses and terminal illnesses. Like, we need to ask why. In any professional environment, if you want to get down to root cause, right? You want to get down to root cause analysis. There's a very, very simple way to do this, right? And it applies in business. You ask the 5 whys. Why? I'm going to ask, why is that so detrimental? Why is that so taboo in the medical space, even in the corporate space of like, why do I have to give up my personal medical information in order to stay employed? That doesn't make any sense. Why do I need to come into agreement with something that faith-based I don't believe in, right? So why? And then it starts to unravel. They don't want you to ask why, because then the answer and the root cause become very obvious. And a lot of times it comes down to money. A lot of times it comes down to indoctrination versus education. And we see that term thrown out there, but it's true, right? Become a nation of critical thinkers. And I think that's the crux of where we're at, right?
It's
We're
so true.
advocating, right? We want informed consent, not constant consumption. We want informed consent. We want to be able to ask those questions, right? Absolutely.
So true. And this is what this event is all about. And again, you can see it here. I'll put it on the screen in a second. What Allison is talking about here, so key. And it's not just an event that we're wanting to let you know about, but I want to let you know what's at stake. This decision, this announcement that the governor of Florida, the fantastic courage to do this, only governor in the world, in the state, and his Surgeon General, Governor DeSantis, and Surgeon General Ladapo made this announcement: no more vax mandates. My friends, this has got to be moved into legislation, or else when the governor turns out here in another year and the next governor takes over, it could be undone. So your attendance at this event, why is it going to be helpful? Susan Sweden talked about how to grow the Make America Healthy Again movement. Dr. William Mackis, we already talked about. Dr. Joseph Ladapo, in present. Brianna Ladapo will be present. Dr. Mark Trozzi, Dr. Vila, all will be unpacking information that you need to know, your loved ones need to know. My friends, you either know someone or are about to know someone that's struggling with cancer. You got to have the information. You got to invite people. Make sure you get your ticket. How do you get your ticket? freedomhealthhive.com. freedomhealthhive.com. You can see it down here below us, freedomhealthhive.com. I will also be there, part of the Reclaim Health conversation that we're having here. How to get health reform legislation passed. My friends, this is being brought to us by the conference being put together by Freedom Health Connect and We the People Health and Wellness. Please make sure you're there. It's super, super important that you are. And if you don't buy a ticket, it's going to be sold out. People are coming here from all over the state. So important that you come. And Allison, I'm going to ask you to kind of close this up here with the last words here to wrap this up. But just again, if you can just emphasize what you were talking about earlier on, we are seeing now the revelation of how stuff has been suppressed, whether it be in the foreign wars, whether it be in how the news corrupts information. But 30 seconds, Allison, just talk about how information at this conference is going to make life better for everyone who attends.
Well, here's the thing. I think we're all waking up to the fact that the corporatists, those that have financial gain and really have impacted our health, our freedoms, our whole system, right, have overplayed their hand. They have overplayed their hand, and now what it's led to, whether it was during COVID or during, the shooting of Charlie Kirk or the media consistent propaganda, they have overplayed their hand, and it is our turn, right? We need to do something. We can no longer sit back and just hope that somebody else does something. So you're absolutely right, Raj, is that coming to this event, being able to network with other people, ask the questions, get your questions answered, and then also do something afterwards, right? So Dr. Ladapo and Governor DeSantis have made this monumental announcement that it's your choice. You should have informed consent. You should know what's going into your body and make a decision from there. But the legislative part is where we need people to come and speak up, speak out, get out there. This is our government, right? This is our process, and we need people to get involved.
I'm talking to Allison Euchre. We're talking about the epic event being brought to Venice, Florida on October 2nd, 2025. Tickets are selling fast, so please make sure you get your ticket. We need more organizations like We the People Health and Wellness to be taking the charge and leading the charge, because the corporatists, like Allison said, is not doing. Allison, thank you so much for being with me. I so appreciate it. Can't wait to have you on again.
All right. Thanks, Raj.
Thank you, Raj, for bringing us such an important discussion revolving around health. We hope to see everyone at our event on October 2nd with our very own Surgeon General, Dr. Ladapo. Next up is our Political Pulse segment right here on CCN.
Tired of hearing the same media spin and soft-pedaled politics?
Then join Open Mic with Ali and Michelle, where we drop truth bombs, not talking points.
Every episode, we break down the headlines they want you to ignore, from DC drama to global chaos without the filter.
And now you can go deeper with our Mic Drop Crew exclusive perks, early access, and your voice on air.
Subscribe today. Be bold, be heard, be part of the movement.
Good evening, Florida, and welcome to Political Pulse, the segment where we dig into the stories shaping the Sunshine State from Tallahassee to your very own backyard. I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. Tonight, teachers left waiting. A watchdog exposes waste. Universities re-center free speech. And Floridians honor Charlie Kirk. Let's begin. Tonight, we start with education. Commissioner of Education Anastasios Koumoutas is calling out Leon County School Superintendent Rocky Hanna and the Teachers Union for repeated delays in implementing raises funded under the teacher salary increase allocation. Take a look at this.
In his letter to Leon County School Board Chair Lori Cox, Kamoutsas wrote, Governor DeSantis championed this funding to raise teacher salaries quickly and competitively, yet Superintendent Hanna has repeatedly delayed implementation, forcing teachers to needlessly wait for the raises they rightfully earned, end quote.
Yeah, Kamoutsas plans to question local leadership at the September 24th State Board of Education meeting in Fort Walton Beach to ensure the funds are distributed properly and transparently.
For Florida's teachers, this is about respect and timely compensation, not red tape.
Absolutely. Now, Florida's Chief Financial Officer, Blaise Ingoglia, who leads the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, revealed that over $190 million of Orange County's budget is excessive and wasteful spending.
That is a lot. In a press conference, Ingoglia said the county could, quote, easily cut the millage rate by 0.86 and offer property tax relief, end quote. He accused county leaders of lighting your tax dollars on fire.
Ooh, good words. Good words. This is why watchdogs matter. Wasteful spending isn't just a number. It's your money, guys, and your tax relief.
Next, fallout from the tragic assassination of Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk continues across Florida.
That's right. Just as we showed you that there was a vigil here in Sarasota and Bradenton, Palmetto Bay Council member Steve Cody posted on Facebook calling Kirk, quote, a fitting sacrifice to our Lords Smith and Wesson, end quote. That drew, Allie, outrage statewide.
As it should have. At a heated meeting, a resident told Cody, quote, the day Charlie Kirk died may have marked a turning point, but not the way you thought. It will be remembered as the day your own reputation began. Its well-earned decline. You have a choice. Resign and disappear quietly, or stay and watch your name and reputation crumble, end quote.
Don't you love it when we, the people, exercise our right to hold our elected people responsible?
Well, Charlie Kirk is the, civil rights leader of our time.
It is, absolutely. The vice mayor has canceled all business until Cody resigns. Meanwhile, Palm Bay Mayor Paul Alfrey announced a stretch of road will be renamed Charlie Kirk Lane, and billboards will go up honoring Kirk.
Amazing. And New College of Florida announced it will commission a privately funded statue of Charlie Kirk to stand on a campus as a commitment to free speech and civil discourse.
I love that. Across the state, leaders are making it clear. Celebrating or excusing violence against speakers won't be tolerated. Chancellor Ray Rodriguez sent a letter to all state university presidents emphasizing that, quote, celebrating or excusing violence like the murder of Charlie Kirk by members of our university system will not be tolerated, end quote.
At the same time, the Floridian reports radical professors at several Florida colleges with AAUP chapters still pushing progressive ideology on students. Governor DeSantis has already dismantled DEI programs in many institutions, but this shows more work ahead.
It's a reminder, Allie, that while Florida has taken bold steps to end taxpayer-funded indoctrination, private funding and campus clubs can still push these ideas. The fight for balanced, open campus debate continues.
We definitely shouldn't be discriminating either. So
that's right.
Attorney General Uthmeier also responded to the resolution from the Miami Beach City Commission encouraging businesses to bar firearms from private property.
Unbelievable. In this memo, Uthmeier wrote, quote, Floridians don't have to forfeit their right to self-defense just to enter a public accommodation. This is ridiculous.
Wow.
The Miami Beach government is duty-bound by the Second Amendment, he goes on to say. He warned local officials, you're on notice. We are watching.
And beyond our borders, social media lit up after reports about Syrian leader Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, once head of al-Qaeda's branch in Syria, may be entering the U.S. for UN meetings. Critics call it a betrayal to veterans and the 9/11 victims.
That's right. In one viral post, a Floridian wrote, quote, this is the city of 9/11. He served the same al-Qaeda network that carried out 9/11. Today, he's treated like a head of state. It's a slap in the face of every victim and veteran, end quote. Have to agree with that.
I would as well. Florida leaders like Ryan Stryker are calling on Governor DeSantis, our Attorney General Uthmeier, Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, and federal representatives to address the threat. They warn ignoring these reports will erode trust. Again, we will keep you updated as we ourselves conduct a more in-depth look at these concerns.
That's right. Finally, Attorney General Uthmeier's team announced the takedown of an identity theft ring in South Florida in coordination with local sheriffs. This kind of stuff it blows my mind that people do this.
Yeah.
These kinds of operations are why Florida's crime rate continues to drop, because we back our law enforcement, lock up criminals, and protect citizens.
And this week's headlines show Florida standing firm, paying teachers on time, exposing waste, rejecting political violence, defending constitutional rights, and keeping our communities safe.
That's right, Allie. When leadership acts, Floridians benefit. When we hold officials accountable, we get results. And I want to continue by saying, perfect example of holding your leaders accountable. I had the ability to go to a local school board meeting right here in Sarasota County. What were they discussing? They were discussing the code of conduct and lining up the verbiage to match Florida state law.
Right.
They were going after harassment and how we view harassment in the schools by changing the wording literally to all. All students will be protected from any harassment and bullying. There were those on the left that did not agree with this change. Take a quick look at this report.
Hi, Michelle Posey. Tonight I would like to first address the student code of conduct that you're addressing today. All clearly means all. I don't want to sit here and pretend as adults in this room that we don't understand it, because our motto is every student, every day. So clearly we didn't have enumerations needed there. We all understand what all means, but it's more important to address that hate has gone without accountability in this room. And really nobody talks about it. What am I referring to? For those of you that don't know, who maybe haven't come to board meetings in a while, back in 2020, Tom Edwards was voted in as District 3 representative. But if I look back at his social media post through 2017, 2018, and 2019, shows some very strong rhetoric that he posted. One that really startles me is that he calls every Trump supporter Nazis. Every Trump supporter Nazis. Talks about white. Yes, it is, because I'm talking about the student code of conduct. This doesn't sit well given the recent political assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's okay, I can talk louder. If you really want proper enumerations and protections in our student code of conduct, maybe it should read protecting Christian, MAGA, American First conservatives, given we're the ones that have been slaughtered lately. Again, I'm sure everybody here understands that all means all. Going on to the voucher program, has anybody bothered to ask why so many, and then he waves his arm because he's the leader of the circus, you understand that? The reason why so many students and so many parents have left the school system is because parental rights in education is a foundation now here in Florida. Have you ever asked yourself, where did the parents go? They're exercising their right because you first took it from them when you put masks on their children's faces against their will. Now, I've seen the thousands of students and families that this has harmed, and I've seen them scramble last minute to try to find a different education. You know what? They used choice, Edwards, because you first took it from them. I think it's important for a history lesson to take place at this dais, for people to understand that what you said earlier in this meeting, that it matters who you vote for, it's exactly right. You have to pay attention who's on that ballot. The last thing I'd like to address is the time change. I'm not really for it or against it, but I would like to note that the Board of County Commissioners here in Sarasota, as well as the hospital board, all meet at 10 a.m., and I don't see the outpouring there of that being a big issue. You know what you do if you want to attend a meeting for 4 hours on one day a month? You use PTO time. Thank you.
Incredible job there, Michelle. I'm so glad you were able to go.
Thank you.
This is just crazy. And at a school board, no less. And for Political Pulse, I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey. God bless you, and God bless the great state of Florida. We'll see you next time.
And now we will go to Kevin for this week's Faith in Focus.
Welcome to Faith in Focus. Today we're diving into a pivotal moment in American history that still ripples through our classrooms, communities, and culture. It's a story of what happens when we invite God into the schoolhouse door and what unfolds when we shut it. We'll look back at an era when prayer and Christian practices were woven into the fabric of public education, a time marked by remarkable stability. Then we'll confront the stark changes that followed their removal, backed by hard data on rising mental health crisis, school violence, and societal confusion. And from a Christian lens, we'll ask, what does Scripture say about letting the world shape our kids? If you let the world raise your children, they'll become products of the world, not heirs of the kingdom. Stick around. This is going to challenge and equip you as a parent, educator, or believer. Picture this. It's the 1950s in a typical American public school. The day begins not with announcements over the intercom, but with a simple, unifying ritual. Students rise, bow their heads, and recite a short prayer, often the Lord's Prayer followed by a passage from the Bible, read aloud by a classmate. This wasn't some fringe custom, it was a routine across the nation. By 1949, Bible reading was part of the daily rhythm in public schools in at least 37 states, with 12 of those making it legally required. That's pretty fascinating. In 1960, 42% of school districts either tolerated or mandated it, and half incorporated devotional exercises into homeroom. These weren't high-pressure evangelistic sessions, they were gentle anchors, grounding kids in moral absolutes drawn from Scripture. Truths like love your neighbor as yourself or do not murder. From a Christian perspective, this echoed Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Schools weren't replacing parents or churches, they were reinforcing them. And the fruit? A nation that, while far from perfect, experienced profound stability. Mass shootings, those heart-wrenching events where one person unleashes hell on innocents, were virtually non-existent in schools. Imagine that. Comprehensive databases tracking public mass shootings with firearms show that from 1966 to 2019, the vast majority occurred post-1980s, with only a handful before the 1970s. In the decades before 1962, school violence was so rare it barely registered in national stats. Youth homicides at schools hovered below 3% of total youth homicides, often in the low dozens annually. Gender confusion, as we know it today, wasn't a societal flashpoint. Transgender identification rates were negligible, with no widespread data even collected until the late 20th century. Mental health, youth suicide rates were a fraction of today's. In the early 1960s, they sat around 3 to 4 per 100,000 for ages 12 through 17. Crime in schools, theft and assaults were very minimal, with victimization rates under 20 per 1,000 students. It was an era where kids could leave their doors unlocked and trust their neighbors because shared biblical values built that trust. But then came the 1960s, a decade of upheaval, civil rights battles, and cultural shifts. Enter landmark Supreme Court cases that reshaped everything. In 1962, Engel versus Vitale struck down state-sponsored prayer in New York schools, ruling it violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. The very next year, in 1963, Abington School District versus Shemp extended the ban to mandatory Bible readings and the Lord's Prayer recitation. These decisions effectively removed organized Christian activities from public education nationwide. No more daily devotions, no more scriptural moral compass provided by the state. In the aftermath, schools became neutral ground, or worse, ground zero for secular ideologies. Christian parents were left to fill the void alone, but many couldn't. As Jesus warned in Matthew 15:14, if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a pit. And as we see today in America, the pit is getting very full. Without that daily infusion of faith, what filled the gap? The world's philosophies, relativism, self above all, and a rejection of God's design for identity and community. Fast forward 6 decades, and the data paints a tragic picture. Let's ground this in facts, not feelings. First, mental illness among our youth has skyrocketed. It's no secret. We see it every day on the news or on social media. In the 1960s, serious emotional disturbances affected perhaps 1 to 2% of kids. Now today, it's now nearly 20% of children ages 3 to 17 have a mental, emotional, developmental, or behavioral disorder. Suicidal behaviors among high schoolers surged over 40% in the decade before 2019 alone. From 2008 to 2020, youth suicide rates for ages 12 to 17 jumped from 3.7 to 6.3 per 100,000, a 70% increase. 1 in 6 U.S. youth aged 6 to 17 now battles a mental health disorder yearly, with 1 in 5 teens reporting anxiety or depression symptoms. And over 55% of youth with gender dysphoria reports suicidal thoughts. How about the crimes in schools? Victimization rates exploded post-1960s in the early data from the 1970s. Serious violent incidents were rare. By the 1990s peak, they hit over 50 per 1,000 students. Even today, after some declines, 2022 saw 22 non-fatal victimizations per 1,000 students at school, still way higher than pre-1960s baselines. And mass shootings? From 1966 to 2019, over 1,700 fatalities in public mass shootings averaged 3.4 deaths per incident. Most clustered after the 1980s, with school attacks becoming a horrifying norm. In 2023 alone, 105 died in active shooter incidents. Then there's the gender confusion. In the 1960s, transgender identification was virtually unmeasured, perhaps 0.1% or less. Today, about 0.6% of all U.S. adults, or 1.4 million people. But among youth, it's doubled. 1.4% of 13 to 17-year-olds identify as transgender, up from prior estimates, with non-binary identification surging 1,260% among young adults since 2014. Gender dysphoria diagnosis under 18 rose from 17.5% to 20.4% of cases between 2018 and 2022. These aren't just numbers, they're broken lives echoing the void left by removed truth. Brothers and sisters watching this is not a coincidence. It's a consequence. As Ephesians 6:4 urges, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. When we handed schools to the world in 1962, we outsourced our sacred duty. The result? Kids molded by TikTok trends, not the 10 Commandments, by identity politics, not God. If you let the world raise your children, they'll become products of the world, chasing fleeting affirmations, numb to sin's sting, lost in confusion. But there is hope. As Deuteronomy 6:7 commands us to teach God's ways, when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. Start today. Pray with your kids over breakfast. Read scripture as a family. Advocate for faith-integrated education or homeschool if possible. Support ministries bringing Bible clubs back to campuses, because good news clubs are still legal. We're not powerless, we're pilgrims with a promise. Revival begins in our homes. That's our focus today on Faith in Focus. I would also like to add that everyone here will continue to pray for Charlie's wife and children. We will also pray for the lost and broken, and that they find the light of Christ in their hearts. God bless you all.
Thank you, Kevin. It's not surprising that removing the Bible from schools coincided with the erosion of shared moral foundations, as evidenced by the surge in school violence.
For Coastal Conservative News, I'm Allie Leger.
And I'm Michelle Posey.
And we'll see you next week at 7 p.m.
God bless you, and God bless the great state of Florida.